Welcome to Election Night 2020. Today, we have the incumbent president, Donald Trump, with his running mate, Mike Pence, and his opponent, Bernie Sanders, from Vermont, with his running mate, Terry McAuliffe. Here are the 7 o'clock p.m. poll closing times. 3 electoral votes from the state of Vermont, Bernie Sanders' home state. 3 electoral votes will be going to him. 8 electoral votes from the state of Kentucky. Donald Trump will pick up their 8 electoral votes. Surprisingly, too close to call is Indiana, 11 electoral votes. The vice president's home state, 48.9% to Bernie Sanders to 50.3% to Donald Trump. 9 electoral votes from the state of South Carolina, another surprise. It's too close to call, 53.3% to Donald Trump to 47.6% to Bernie Sanders. In Virginia, 13 electoral votes out of the state of Virginia, 56.4% to Bernie Sanders to 49.5% to Donald Trump. The state of Georgia, 16 electoral votes, 57.4% to Bernie Sanders to 57.5% to Donald Trump, a 0.1% lead to Donald Trump. Here's the electoral map. Donald Trump has 8 electoral votes, all from the state of Kentucky, while Bernie Sanders 3 electoral votes from his home state of Vermont. Here's the 7:30 p.m. poll closing times. Here's out of the state of West Virginia, 5 electoral votes will land in the Trump column tonight. State of Ohio, 18 electoral votes, too close to call, 53.2% to Bernie Sanders to 52.8% to Donald Trump. State of North Carolina, 15 electoral votes are at stake, too close to call. Donald Trump has a 100-vote lead, 51.7% to 51.7%. Out of the state of South Carolina, new projection going to Donald Trump. South Carolina, 9 electoral votes going to him. Here is the electoral map, 22 electoral votes to Donald Trump to 3 electoral votes to Bernie Sanders and Terry McAuliffe. Here's the 8 o'clock p.m. poll closing time, a huge new batch of poll closings. Let's start out of the state of Tennessee. Tennessee, 11 electoral votes going to Donald Trump. The state of Mississippi, 6 electoral votes going to Donald Trump. The state of Alabama, 9 electoral votes going to Donald Trump. 7 electoral votes from the state of Oklahoma. Donald Trump will take their 7 electoral votes. Bernie Sanders will take 3 of the 4 electoral votes from Maine. He will also carry the state of Massachusetts, 11 electoral votes, Elizabeth Warren's home state. 4 electoral votes from the state of Rhode Island to Bernie Sanders. Connecticut, 7 electoral votes going to Bernie Sanders. 14 electoral votes from the state of New Jersey. Bernie Sanders will carry their 14 electoral votes. 3 electoral votes from the state of Delaware. Bernie Sanders will pick up their 3 electoral votes. And another 10 electoral votes from the state of Maryland will land in the Sanders column tonight. On the state of the District of Columbia, 3 electoral votes will be going to Bernie Sanders. No Republican has ever won the District of Columbia. State of Pennsylvania, much earlier call than in 2017, Bernie Sanders will pick up 20 electoral votes from the state of Pennsylvania. The state of New Hampshire, 4 electoral votes will be going to Bernie Sanders. And Missouri is too close to call, 47.4% to Bernie Sanders to 49.1% to Donald Trump. 102 electoral votes to Bernie Sanders to 55 to Donald Trump. And sorry that we forgot to put up a projection slide from the state of Illinois, but the state of Illinois has gone to Bernie Sanders. Here's the 8:30 p.m. poll closing time. One new state, the state of Arkansas. The state of Arkansas has gone to Donald Trump. 6 electoral votes landing in his column tonight. 61 electoral votes to Donald Trump to 102 to Bernie Sanders. Here's the 9 o'clock p.m. poll closing time. State of Louisiana, Donald Trump will pick up their 8 electoral votes. State of Texas, big prize, 38 electoral votes will be going to Donald Trump. Democrats had hoped that they would win the state of Texas, but they were wrong. They did not pick up the state of Texas. State of Kansas, 6 electoral votes will be won by Donald Trump. State of Nebraska, 4 out of the 5 electoral votes will be going to Donald Trump. In the state of Indiana, very late call for the vice president's home state on the line there. 11 electoral votes going to Donald Trump. 3 electoral votes from North Dakota going to Donald Trump. 3 electoral votes from the state of South Dakota going to Donald Trump. In the state of Wyoming, 3 electoral votes going to Donald Trump. Nebraska, 1 out of the 5 electoral votes from Nebraska. Bernie Sanders will pick up their electoral votes, a flip from 2016. Another flip from 2016, 1 of the 4 electoral votes from Maine. Bernie Sanders picking up now all 4 of the electoral votes from Maine. And the state of Virginia, 13 electoral votes going to Bernie Sanders. And the state of Minnesota, a much earlier call than 2016. Minnesota's 10 electoral votes will be going to Bernie Sanders. 5 electoral votes from the state of New Mexico going to not Donald Trump, Bernie Sanders. State of Arizona is too close to call. Bernie Sanders has a 4.2 lead. At the state of Colorado, 46 to 46, Donald Trump has a 200 vote lead. Here's the electoral map, 161 to Bernie Sanders to 144 to Donald Trump. It's a graphical error. On the electoral map, it says 147. On down where it says Trump/Pence, it says 144, but it's 147. Here's the 10 o'clock p.m. poll close time. The state of Montana, 3 electoral votes will go to Donald Trump. State of Utah, 6 electoral votes going to Donald Trump. State of Iowa is too close to call. 47.8 to Bernie Sanders, 45.7 to Donald Trump. Too close to call out of the state of Nevada. Donald Trump surprisingly has taken the lead, 46.2 to Donald Trump to 44.4 for Bernie Sanders. Donald Trump has a 2.2 lead out of the state. Oh, big projection out of the state of Ohio. 18 electoral votes will be going to Bernie Sanders. Another big flip from 2016 is the state of North Carolina. 15 electoral votes will be going to Bernie Sanders. And the state of Georgia, 60 electoral votes will be going to Donald Trump. 194 electoral votes to Bernie Sanders to 172 to Donald Trump. Here's the 11 o'clock p.m. poll close time. All the states on the West Coast have closed. The state of California, 55 electoral votes going to Bernie Sanders. A huge electoral vote margin. The most electoral votes in the Union carried by California. Bernie Sanders will pick up their 55 electoral votes. State of Washington, 12 electoral votes will be landing in the Sanders column tonight. And same with Oregon, 7 electoral votes will be going to Bernie Sanders. Hawaii, 4 electoral votes will be landing in the Sanders column tonight. Michigan, a big flip from 2016. 16 electoral votes from the state of Michigan. State of Iowa, 6 electoral votes going to Bernie Sanders. State of Florida, 29 electoral votes going to Bernie Sanders. Oh, what's this? President-elect Bernie Sanders, elected 46th President of the United States of America, defeating the incumbent President Donald Trump. He will go on to win the White House until 2024 when the next election comes along. He has won the presidency of the United States, which also means that Terry McAuliffe will win the vice presidency of the United States. He will be vice president-elect. He will be elected 49th vice president of the United States, Terry McAuliffe. State of Idaho, 4 electoral votes going to Donald Trump, although it doesn't matter anymore. 176 to Donald Trump to 323 to Bernie Sanders. Here's the 1 a.m. poll closing time. The state of Alaska. Alaska, 3 electoral votes going to Donald Trump. The state of Wisconsin, 10 electoral votes going to Bernie Sanders. The state of Colorado, 9 electoral votes going to Bernie Sanders. 11 electoral votes from the state of Arizona going to Bernie Sanders. 6 electoral votes from the state of Nevada. Bernie Sanders will carry their 6 electoral votes. Thank you all for watching. Special thanks to JJ Holmes for requesting this video. My next video, you have to request. If you like this video, please leave a like. Comment down below what you want me to do next. And I'll see you next time.